Hey everyone, like many of you, we have a lot of issues going on in our community here locally, but I think there are issues that probably many of you are going to be or are currently dealing with. The first is a data center that is proposed to be put up in the township in which we live. Two core issues that everybody brings up, and I feel strongly about too, is where's the water coming from? Because we live in a semi-rural area. The area where this will be placed is semi-rural, and people are worried about their well water and the effects on that. Second issue is energy. Production of energy for these data centers is immense use, and the production, in my opinion, should be taken care of on site by the data centers. Not that we want it here, but that is another issue, and that is what I think needs to be done with all of these data centers. The third thing is the environmental impact. Noise pollution, EMFs. There are a lot of things that I am not well versed in, but others are much more than myself. So we are going to battle, and many in our community are up in arms about this. There was a meeting recently to organize individuals, and there were about 300 people there, and they broke into committees, and I think they're well organized to fight this battle. So hopefully your communities can do the same thing if necessary. The second thing that we're battling right now is the over 12% tax hike for our school board or school district. It's difficult to determine how the dollars are being spent, how our tax dollars, I should say, are being utilized. We see line items, but we don't necessarily see all the specifics in those line items. Sometimes it's necessary to dig in through freedom of information. We do have individuals who are well versed in being able to do that. So another battle, the common thought here, unfortunately, by some is what I encountered with a relative. And I got into a conversation with this individual and I said, I really feel that government has to be run like a business. And I feel strongly about that, being a 40-year business owner. Yeah, we have revenues and we have expenses. And when the expenses exceed the revenues, you're in trouble. And I don't care whether it's a school district or it's a county or if it's a business. But the response I got from the individual was very telling about their philosophy. Because their response was, that's not a problem. And I said, really? And where do you get the money? And they said, you just increase taxes. Well, there comes a point where people can't sustain that any longer. And you will start seeing empty homes because people can't afford the tax level. And also, people don't want to move into a high taxed area. So we have to look at the value for everything that we're expensing. And we also have to recognize, and I think this is important for those powers that be that we've put into office to understand that those tax dollars are our money. And we are contributing it, not necessarily voluntarily, to be used judiciously. So I think that's something that everyone has to grapple with and engage in, because you can't just let it happen. You have to be the voice in many instances for your community and stand up and voice your opinions, whether that be at a school board meeting, through the vote, or through editorials, etc. The third thing that I want to bring to you that I know many of you are probably dealing with too in your schools and your communities is the whole transgender issue. One thing that I do want you to take a look at is a video that we're putting up here. And the video is about, or from a lady in our community whose daughter tried to use rest facilities in the school. There was an event and she was with friends and they wanted to go into the restroom. They were told they couldn't because there was a transgender individual in that restroom. So, I had written a letter to the school board regarding a couple of issues that were going on with a gay pride flag in the school, with and I commented on this transgender issue relative to rest facilities. Unfortunately, the school board does not have a clear guidance for individuals in the schools, teachers, administrators, as well as students about this issue. I think that's the primary issue that is occurring in some school districts where there's no real guidance directive from the school board about how this should be handled. You'll hear in this lady's testimony to the school board that she feels that that's the number one issue that needs to be addressed, and I agree with her in that regard. So I think it's important for us in our communities to voice our opinions about that. These are issues that are current and issues that are need to be discussed. And I think everyone needs to be taken into consideration with this issue. Not only the transgender students, but also the other students who are simply trying to utilize facilities that are available to them. So a couple things to think about. Please watch the attached video of this lady's testimony to the school board at a school board meeting. And please consider all of these issues and how you are going to engage with them to voice your opinion and to see that perhaps we can come to a understanding and divert the potential that some of these things will happen in our own communities. All right, take care, have a good day, and let us know what you think about this one. I appreciate you. Bye-bye now.
And we'll move to public comment. We do have three. Jan Madeira, you would be so kind as to come up. At the bottom, at the end.
Jan Madeira, Red Hill, Pennsylvania. I'm a parent in this district, and I'm here to speak about an incident that took place May 23rd, 2026, during Outdoor Day, and a broader concern about the lack of clear district guidance when students' privacy concerns arise. At approximately 2:30 p.m., several female students were waiting outside the girls' restroom because a biological male who identifies as transgender was inside the facility. According to my daughter and other students present, several girls felt uncomfortable entering and chose to wait outside. My daughter became visibly upset and sought help from staff. She reported the situation and was told there was no district policy to address her concern. No policy? As if protecting students' privacy should depend on whether a written policy exists before staff can respond with basic common sense. She was later advised if she felt uncomfortable in the future, she could use a single stall restroom. Really? That raises a very straightforward question. Why are female students being redirected away from the facilities designated for them? Why isn't the situation being handled in a way that protects everyone's privacy and dignity? Why is there no clear written district policy guiding staff when students raise concerns about privacy in shared facilities? The school board is responsible for establishing policies. So why doesn't this policy exist? How long will the district go without? Until something happens that it can't be ignored? When there is no clear policy, students are left confused, staff can't use common sense, and are left making real-time decisions without guidance. That is not fair to anyone involved. This situation has already affected students. They are feeling unheard, uncertain, and unsure whether their concerns matter. And regardless of the issue, when students come forward through the proper channels, they deserve to be taken seriously, not redirected away from the problem. I am not asking I am not asking this board to ignore or dismiss the rights of any student. Every student deserves respect, safety, and protection. And that includes all of the female students. Other Pennsylvania districts have adopted written policies that provide clear guidance and privacy, restroom access, and accommodations for all students. Whether this district adopts a similar approach or not, it's obvious that clarity is necessary because common sense is no longer common. I am asking the board to investigate this issue, examine policies from other districts, and establish clear written guidance so that students, staff, and families know what to expect before a serious situation arises. This is already affecting students, and the district needs to act. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.